Happy holidays and welcome to the 12 days of Techmas. Let's see what Santa has for us today. In today's Techmas tip, I'm going to share with you a Google Sheets extension called Autocrat. So what is Autocrat? So Autocrat is an extension for Google Sheets. If you work at Washington Local, you already have it. It's already added to your Google Sheets program. If you do not work at Washington Local, in the video notes below, you will see the link to Autocrat to install it on your computer. So Autocrat is basically a mail merge system that works just exclusively with Google Sheets. And then you can create merge documents, and these merge documents can either be Google Docs or Google Slides, but the extension is found in Google Sheets. It's very similar to Microsoft Word mail merge system. So now let's see exactly how this works. So the first thing is you start with a table of data in Google Sheets, and you have the fields that you want to use in a Google Doc or slide. So for this example, we're going to be making a perfect attendance award. And so we have the full name of the student, we have the teacher's name, and then the grade. So that's the information that we have and that we want to put into the certificate. So the second step is you have to create a certificate. So you create a template with the fields that match the header on the Google Sheet. So in this example, we have this cute little perfect attendance, and then right here, awarded to, and we just have full names. So they're in these little HTML, little sideways carrots. You have to have two of them, and then you see full name here, and then full name here. So this will pull Junebug into this certificate. And then down at the bottom here, you'll see that it just says teacher, and it's in a different font, but it still has those little HTML carrots on either side. And teacher matches teacher here. So the header has to match the template. And then we run Autocrat, and it will create these individualized documents. So now we have as this example, we've got Junebug in Misbehaves class, we've got Candy Apple in Misbehaves class. So it just merges that information. This presentation will be in the video notes because, as you can see, if you click on this perfect attendance, if you happen to like this, you can make a copy of it and it's yours. So there are resources, little gifts hidden in here. All right, let's look at some examples. So some of these might look familiar. I've been using Autocrat for years. So this is an academic all-star certificate that we had for our seniors. So you can see first name with the little HTML carrots and then last name. So that means in that spreadsheet, there was a column with first name and a column with last name. And then we have parent's name. We had a huge spreadsheet feeding into this certificate. And then down here at the bottom, this is what it looked like. We had the student's picture, we had where they were going to school, like the seal in there. So here's one that's a student referral system. Here's one that's pretty simple. The only thing, it's got a cute little card, and the only thing that it's pulling in is first name. Here's another certificate here. So this one should look familiar for our Washington Local staff. So this information is actually, that spreadsheet is populated from a Google form that the staff fills out, and they put in what high school did they attend, what college, and then that then creates a spreadsheet, and then that information from the spreadsheet goes in here, and then here's a student safety contract. So let's take a look at a step-by-step process using, now for this example, we are just going to use a Google Sheet and Autocrat. We're not going to get into how it works with Google Forms, but in that presentation under the video description, I will link to the step-by-step if you want to attach it to a Google form. But for this video, I'm just going to use a Google Sheet, and then how to run Autocrat. A couple words of wisdom before you get started is if you are using a Google slide as your certificate, so for our example, we're doing a perfect attendance certificate, make sure that the page size of the Google slide is set to 8.5 by 11 before creating, especially if you're going to be printing these certificates. So next one, create a folder in your drive where you want these certificates to go, because part of Autocrat, it will ask you, where do you want these certificates to go? And then do not cut and paste into the template. I don't know why it doesn't like cutting and pasting. So when you're creating your template, you just need to type it out. So here's my perfect attendance. So we've got full name right here, and then teacher name here. All right. Here is the data that we're using: full name, teacher, and grade. So the first thing we need to do is launch Autocrat. And Autocrat is found in the Extensions tab of Google Sheets. So like I said, Washington Local, you already have it. So I'm going to go to my Google Sheet, and I'm going to click Extensions, and then go down to Autocrat, and I'm going to open. Yours might say launch, but mine says open because I've already used this a couple times to create a certificate. If it's your first time ever using Autocrat, you will have to sign in with your Google account. You obviously wouldn't have this. I'm going to start a new job. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to say new job. So your screen will say no merge job setup, and then you'll click new jobs. I've already used this one, so I'm going to go back. So new job. First thing is you name your job. So I'm going to name mine Perfect Attendance 2. Then you go to next. And now you're going to choose a Google slide or a Google Doc, whatever you're using for your certificate. I'm using Google Slides. So now I need to find my perfect attendance. So it says from Drive or create an example. Mine I already have ready to go, so I'm going to click from Drive. And now it's searching my drive. Let's see if I can find it quickly. Oh, there it is. So here's my perfect attendance. I'm going to click it once and then click select and click next. I want to make sure that it's grabbing from sheet 1. All right, full name maps to full name. So we want to make sure in the certificate that full name goes here. If I click on this, I will see every header in my Google Sheet. So I have full name, teacher, and grade. If for some reason I want full name to be teacher, I can override this and push it to teacher, but I don't want to. But if you would ever come in here and nothing matched, then you would just click and select the header that you want it to match. It looks good. I'm going to click next. Now the file name is what I want it to be called when it is created. So I want the file to be called January Perfect Attendance. Here's where I get to select if I want it to be a Google slide or if I want it to be a PDF. I always choose Google Slide so that if there is something that I need to change, maybe the student has a really, really long name and I need to go in and change the font size, I could do that. So in a PDF, we can't change it. So I always make it a Google slide. For this example, to make it easier to print, I'm going to have it be single output mode, meaning that every certificate is going to be dumped into one Google slide presentation that I can then just print. The multiple output mode, what that would do is it would create, so for my example, I have 18 students that are getting certificates. It would create 18 separate files in my drive. All right, in this next section, you are going to choose your destination folder. So this is the folder in your drive where you want the perfect attendance slideshow to go. So in the tip section, I said make sure that you have a folder already created. So right now I don't want it to go in this folder, so I'm going to select the blue choose folder. And I created this attendance award folder, so I'm going to click on that. I only click on it once, and then you click select. I don't want it to go into this folder, so I'm going to delete that folder. Okay? All right, here we go. Let's go to the next one. Part 6, I'm going to ignore. 7, I'm going to ignore. So for this example, we're going to skip this one because we don't have any emails in our database. So I'm going to click next. So in this step, it's asking you if your data is connected to a Google form because it says run on form trigger. For this example, I'm not. I just ran a report, a perfect attendance report in PowerSchool, and so it's not connected. So I'm going to say no. So for this example, we're going to skip this one because we're not attached to any Google form. And then we're just going to click save. All right, so we have perfect attendance 2 all ready to go. You notice this right here, this little, it almost looks like a gift tag, but it's telling me that I have unmapped tags. So there's a mistake in this one. So if I would click on that and go back, it's showing me that first name is not mapped to anything, last name is not mapped to anything. So there's something, there's something wrong with that one. We're not done yet. When we're ready to run the report, you're going to click this play button almost. It looks like a play button on our old CD players. And I'm going to run the job. So I'm going to push that button. And now the magic starts. So I'm going to exit out of this. And you can tell right away that some stuff has been going on in the spreadsheet that we had. So we've got the merge document, merge doc URL, link to merge doc. So you can see that this is a link to Junebug's certificate. Now, if you notice, it looks like it didn't work, but if I click on it, it will have Junebug's information. And because we had all of the certificates go into one Google slide presentation, we've got Junebug here, we've got Candy Apple, we've got Kelly Green. So you can see that they're all there, and we have the teacher's name. So it's very personalized. And if I wanted to, I could go in here and increase the font. And then when I go to print these, because, let me make sure that I did, let me make sure the page setup is set to 8.5 by 11. Phew. So 11 by 8.5, because this is the width, this is the height, and then it's already set that way. Phew. And then I can go up here to print, and I could send that to the printer and print all of those. You could also save them as a PDF if you would want to, like maybe if you have to send it to print shop to print, you could save it as a PDF, and then what it does is it's, when you save it as a PDF, you can then January perfect attendance, you give it a name, save it to your desktop, and then if you need to send it to print shop to print in color, you could do that. Let me show you the folder in my drive that I created and just show you that it is there also. So I'm going to go to my drive, and I created this attendance award folder in my drive. And if I open that up, I'm going to see January perfect attendance. Open that up, and here's my perfect attendance for January. Now let's say that I made a mistake. Maybe I misspelled attendance, which, and I'm like, oh man, I need to redo all of it. Let me show you how you can redo it. First thing you want to do is make sure that you delete this one so that you don't get confused. Or what a lot of times I'll do is I'll change the name to delete, do not use, so that I don't get confused. I'm going to go back to my Google Sheet that has the information. And what I'm going to do is if I need to run it again, what I can do is I'm just going to delete all of this information. So this is all gone. And then I can go up to Autocrat. And once I make the correction, like if I misspelled attendance and I make the correction, all I have to do is hit that play button again. And then it will run the merge Autocrat again. But you have to delete those columns. All right, so that is Autocrat and Google Sheets. It's amazing. I use it all the time. Reach out if you have any questions. Happy holidays.